All right, everyone. How's it going? Hopefully, you had a great weekend. TJ Springer here in the Storm Center, and Noah is just to the left of me, and he'll be joining us as well in a little bit for our Fox 35 Weather Plus. Now, the second week of us? Second full week? Second week.
Second week.
Share it. Get the word out. So this is our new weather show that we are doing every day right here in the Storm Center, 3 to 3:30, and if you were out this weekend, hopefully you got to enjoy the drier conditions, because that was something that we haven't really had. It's been kind of, dare I say, comfy, at least comparatively speaking. We've had the potential for more rain like we had last week with that stall front. We had dew points that were really high. Remember, we talked a lot about that the last few days. The higher that dew point is, the worse it feels as you get outside. And we certainly had some more refreshing air. And that's going to be the case at least today into our Tuesday before we start to see more of an onshore flow. The stall front also going to start to make its presence known once again, drifting back across central Florida. So that'll help boost our rain chances once again. But the big story today is the tropics. And if you haven't been maybe paying attention to the weather, maybe been away on vacation, we've been monitoring this tropical wave, and this has been something that we're going to have to continue to watch, because we're seeing more storms around this now, and as we progress through the next few days, we could have a depression on our hands. You can see over the last 12 hours or so, it's certainly shown, at times a little more light, but right now compared to how things looked a little bit earlier, not as much storminess. It's still disorganized. That's kind of what we're trying to hit home to you. But it does look like it's going to organize more so as it moves into a more favorable environment. So what that means is really less wind shear, less dry, dusty air, and eventually some more fuel, some more warmth in the Atlantic as well. So now our latest update from the National Hurricane Center, a 90% chance of development with this, and that's over the next 7 days. Now, over the next couple, it's now up to a 50% chance of development. So that would mean essentially by Wednesday we could have a depression on our hands, and maybe Tropical Storm Gabrielle by later on this week, possibly by the weekend. So be sure you keep checking back in with us for the latest. We'll be watching this closely. And notice, back to the east, there's another wave that is coming off the coast of Africa. So a lot to monitor, and we'll be with you here every step of the way. Now, we do have this tagged by the National Hurricane Center as an INVEST. This is now INVEST 92L. Remember, when we say that term, it essentially just means that the National Hurricane Center is watching this even more so, and we can also run some more modeling on this. You can kind of see how it does look to curve eventually with the steering that we have in the atmosphere. We've talked about the Gulf kind of being closed for business briefly. We've had this dip in the jet stream that's kind of kept things that form also in this portion of the main development region, this part of the Atlantic, also steering clear of us. If you remember, even with Aaron, it was the same thing. We had this ridge in the Atlantic, the Bermuda High, and we also had this solid dip in the jet stream that kind of helped steer Aaron away. And it looks like this also could follow a somewhat similar path and hopefully move up into the North Atlantic safely away from any sort of landmass. Now, Bermuda, you'll still want to watch this, and even the Caribbean, we're also going to watch this closely because it's still early on, and little tweaks can happen, little changes can happen, and we'll never say never that this could impact us or any sort of landmass, but just because it's so early right now. But at least the data that we've been able to get into the Storm Center kind of shows that potential, that this won't be any sort of major impact to us. Alice, hi. How are you? Hello, Harry. Love that you're watching in Titusville. Thanks for hopping on. Peggy, what's up? You're in Minnesota watching. Well, thanks, Peggy. That's great. We love to see you watching all the way up in the great north. The Vikings. The Vikings lose yesterday. No,
they did.
Well, I'm sorry, Peggy, if you're a football fan, you're a Vikings fan. I was upset last week when the Ravens lost to the Bills, but I'm a little happier here on Monday. Thank you, Robert, for the kind words. We really appreciate that. So this is what we have right now. We'll be watching that other wave. Now, I know there's a lot of colors on this map right now, and it might look like a lot, but remember when we say wind shear, we say wind shear in both severe weather setups and in the tropics. Now, with wind shear in a severe weather setup, it fuels the potential for severe weather. It can make it worse, but with the tropics, the more shear you have, that difference in wind and speed and direction in the atmosphere can actually help tear hurricanes, tropical systems apart, and that's what you want. And there's a fair amount of that now, but as we start to see this wave move to the west-northwest, kind of look to where you're seeing some of that blue and the green. That's lower shear, and that's where we'll likely see this wave kind of move into. But notice, see all those areas of low pressure, the fronts coming off the east coast? That's the steering between that and the ridge in the Atlantic that will likely potentially move this potential Gabrielle that this could become away from us. As we hit on that, that's the next name on the list of the 2025 storm names. After that would be Umberto, and then Imelda, Jared, Karen, and so forth. So we still have a lot of names. Thankfully, we haven't had a season that has been super intense so far, but this is not a time to let your guard down. Even though we're past the peak of hurricane season, we are by nowhere near done the season. And if you remember last year, once we had Hurricane Helene, Milton happened not too long after, and it just felt like there were more, obviously, hurricanes that came after that, and it seemed like in quite a quick succession. So we'll be watching. It seems like the overall climate pattern does suggest that we could see the potential for more unsettled weather in the tropics as we head through the remainder of September. So be sure you keep checking in with us. Now, in terms of fuel for anything that develops, just to let you know, we're about 2 minutes away from our first break. If you're watching us on Fox Local, if you want to grab your phone or grab your smart device, whether that's a tablet, an iPad, your phone, you can stay with us so you don't miss anything. You can also stream us on myself, my Facebook page, Noah's Facebook page, our Fox 35 Facebook page and YouTube page as well. But Fox Local will have that short little break coming up in just a couple of minutes. Right now, the main area of warmth, that real fuel, is in the Caribbean. It's along the Gulf Stream and the far western Atlantic. So if anything is a little weaker, but it can make its way this far west before getting torn apart like the last invest that we had, that would certainly make matters worse. We really haven't seen that. We haven't seen too many storms follow that southern and western track right up into the Caribbean, the Antilles, but that's something we'll have to watch for as well. Now, more typical weather, or your sensible weather, we'll say, your weather for today, it has not been bad at all. If you've been out and about, you've likely noticed the less humid feel. Hopefully you got out this weekend. If you did get out this weekend, let us know what you did. I was able to get out to the beach on Saturday for the first time in a while, and then yesterday we were able to get out to Halloween Horror Nights. All right, just about half a minute away from our first break, but don't go anywhere. If you're watching us on Fox Local, we'll be back after 2 minutes. If you're on YouTube or you're on Facebook, you're lucky because you get to get unfiltered access to myself and Noah right now. We're not going anywhere. No breaks for us.
Oh, yes, no breaks. You could just, having the windows open now, it's like there's finally an edge off the.
Isn't that crazy?
That edge has come off the heat and humidity. Welcome back on Fox Local, by the way.
Yes, we're back. We promise you didn't miss anything. We're just talking about our lives. And let us know what you did this weekend. Weigh in. Tell us if you had anything.
I golfed Saturday.
It was perfect golf weather.
I actually played shockingly well. I beat our representative over in the sales and finance department, which he was pretty ashamed that he lost to me outright.
Really?
Yeah, he was pretty ashamed because he's never lost to me.
That's actually
and
hilarious.
I played in a scramble with John Brown on 9/11.
Yes.
And I would have shot like 300 if I was horrible.
I
got 3 hours of sleep to get up, and I was horrible. I couldn't even hit the ball. I beat him 3 days later. It was the greatest feeling.
I didn't tell you this. I wanted to take this. I did not play because I told you this is I think my fourth time playing or swinging since I've lived. Yeah. And I shot 101, I think it was.
That's actually not bad, DJ. Not bad.
I had a few. I usually never par. I parred all the par. No, I parred all the par threes at one. So I parred.
If you, that's not bad though. That's good.
I think golf is that sport where it's so mental. You get so frustrated with yourself.
Oh yeah, one bad shot leads to another. Then you throw the club in the bag, and then I throw the bottle of water on the cart, and then But you're having fun, right?
You're having fun, and it's one of those sports where if you never played it, you can play it forever. I feel like, God willing, as long as you can be upright.
True.
Because you can stand upright.
I'm at the point of life nearing 30 where it's like when I was younger, I would get so much more heated about bad shots and being competitive with my friends. I mean, I've got this job, we work out. I can't golf 6 days a week.
And that's the only way to be good.
To get good, you got to hit balls like every day.
Every day.
I guess I could make the time, but I'm just not going to make the time to do that. So I'm just happy if I play twice a month. Great. If I play, then I just go for have fun now, and it's so much better.
It just feels good to be out there.
It's so much funner to go and not care if I duff a shot in front of other people. I don't care anymore.
You know what I've done sometimes? If I start to get in that mindset where I'm just like, you know what, I just want to hit. Yeah. I won't even keep score. I'll just hit, and I'll be like, that was a good. I'll mark down like what I did, like good drive, good chip, terrible shot.
I'm just happy to get out of the tee box, but yeah.
I feel like it's gonna be good golf weather the next couple days.
Well, the wind though.
The wind.
Well, you can just hit your slice into the wind and then straighten it out. But
yeah. I felt you could. So it's funny that came back. That was the bane of my existence when I played in high school was my slice. And it was only my lower clubs were fine, or I guess higher clubs. All my irons, but my driver, the thing it was always that way, and it kind of snuck back. I actually got mad and I put my driver away for a few holes and I took out one of my hybrids. I'm like, you know what? I'm teeing off with my hybrid. I've had enough of this.
No shame in that.
I was ashamed. I need to hit some straight shots. I don't care what happens.
No shame in that.
Mark says hi. Robert gave us the golf emoji, so I don't know. Mark's watching from Staffordshire, England. That is wild. I love that. The
interesting thing, while I pull up a graphic to show for you and I.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
The interesting thing is the wet factor, the wetness. Like, we played in Volusia County, John and I, for the 9/11 scramble last week, and it was like the head pro over at Cypress Hill, which is in Port Orange, said that they've been cart path only for like 4 weeks straight now. Which
no
even
way.
For being in, I understand some would say, okay, it's Florida, it rains in the summer, sure, but even he was saying that he's been there a long time, and this is like, well, that little area has just gotten more rain than the rest of the area. But even here in, I played in Lake Mary over the weekend. It's like a lot of the people were saying this is the wettest spell they remember this time of the year in a while. Like, there's a lot of standing water. There's a lot of water in people's backyards, and it's not drained. Like, the last 2-3 weeks have been really wet.
The water table.
So I guess it's kind of good that we don't have any hurricane threatening with 20 inches.
Thankfully.
On top of that, because then we'd really have a flood situation.
Flood concern.
I think the story that's it's not talked about enough right now is it's wet, really, really wet out. The ground is soaked.
It's been great to have this little break. I mean, I feel like it was nice. I don't remember, and maybe just because I feel like we were at this time last year we were probably already watching for what would have become Helene.
Yeah, maybe another 10 days still, right? Yeah. Maybe
Yeah.
26. Close, yeah.
I feel like we were getting close to yeah. And I'm trying to think if we had anything in this time frame.
Well, it was Debbie beforehand. Remember about this time? Went up in Panhandle.
That's right. That's right.
It really wasn't an us event, though. I mean, it didn't even do anything here. I don't even think. Well, I mean, it was like a gusty day with some showers here for us.
Yes.
Not for the Panhandle, but yeah.
Now it's just before. I think that may have been just before I actually officially went on air and got here.
So,
I think it was really close to. I remember our boss saying, "You need to get down here now." I said, "I know. We're almost there. I'm almost in Florida. We'll be there. I'll be there super soon."
I'm gonna pull up the wind gusts real quick for them.
Yes. Oh, for sure. Most definitely. Yeah.
And we got the winds today are not as strong as they were over the weekend. Now, TJ, you went to the beach, and we could tie this into what Jessica's got for us today. But the winds have been really gusty recently. They've lessened today, but it was really rough at the beaches this weekend.
We've had that cutoff low or this upper level low that's now getting cut off, and it's just been keeping things really blustery near the beach.
Oh yeah.
So if you have plans to get out there, still going to have that rip current risk, and that is what Jess is talking about. So let's bop on right over to her, and she's going to break down that rip current threat that we've been talking about over the last couple days.
I'm Fox 35 Storm Team meteorologist Jessica Dobson, and today we are talking all things rip currents. Even when we have beautiful weather, we can still have a dangerously high risk of rip currents. So it's really important to know how to spot them and what to do if you find yourself caught in one. This video is courtesy of NOAA, and it does show how and where you can spot some of these rip currents. And it can be deceiving, but you'll notice a bit of a smoother looking path of that water, and that is where that rip current takes place. And they've done several studies on these rip currents, and again, we can still have them when the waters appear to be calm, or even when we have really calm looking weather. So even just to the naked eye, they can be difficult to spot at times, but this is how they form. So essentially we have the sandbar, and that's usually several feet out from the shoreline in particular.
Right, nice
and
job,
when we have
ladies.
that sandbar, there are usually some weak spots. But what happens is we get a lot of water that builds up over that sandbar, and we'll have all the crashing waves that are pushing up on shore. So this strong current pushes back out closer towards the sandbar, and it will find the weakest point within that sandbar, and that's how we have that rushing current of water, and that's what does form this rip current. When it comes to how to escape them, you want to travel either to the right or to the left, so parallel to the shoreline. So you don't want to try to swim and fight against the rip current. That is when a lot of times we can find ourselves in really dangerous situations. So that's where we see people get really tired and exhausted just from you have the crashing waves on top of this powerful current that's pushing you further out. It's an important takeaway that it will never pull you under, it will just pull you out, likely past the sandbar at times. So if you can swim parallel to the shoreline, that is going to be one of your best bets when it comes to staying safe and surviving some of these rip currents. So here's what to do, and again, don't fight the current. Try to swim parallel to the shoreline, and you can also just float or tread water, try to wave or signal for help as best you can. And this is one of the big reasons why So that's where we see people, get really tired and exhausted just from, you have the crashing waves on.
Alrighty.
We are
I'm
here.
Oh, let's see. Are we back? Are we good?
Hello.
Hello. We are back. Can
Okay,
everybody hear us?
make sure we
Okay.
didn't have the package audio. Okay, good, very good. Yeah,
Yes.
So that was just some great video that Jess had there about the
It was, yeah. And
currents, yeah.
swimming in, there weren't a ton of people swimming, and I think because of how bad things were, I didn't even see at least the chair that was by where we were swimming. No, didn't even have a lifeguard on it. I know they have the the big indoor stands where I'm sure they were watching, but I feel like if you just let the water take you, you would have been down blocks. And I mean, I felt I didn't get out there too deep, but I just felt the water just pulling hard.
Oh yeah.
And
Let me see if I can pull up why. But
yeah, it's definitely nice to be out at the beach when you can, but it's certainly going to be something to think about, the rip current risk. If you're heading out, maybe you're on vacation this week, definitely want to think about that. But yeah, great report from Jess. Jess, thank you so much. Robert gave us the golf emoji, then he gave us the heart, not the heart eyes, the star eyes emoji.
ah,
Maybe he's just really loving the weather, I don't know. Well, thank you, Robert. Let's see if there's any comments on YouTube. Nothing on YouTube from anybody, but we have another 7 minutes of our Weather Plus little chat here. So if you have any questions,
up in the double box quick.
oh yeah, most definitely.
What's going on here? It's actually interesting that this little thing is not tagged, and by this little thing, you'll see what I'm saying.
That area of low pressure that we've been talking about, and that's kind of.
Put the radar back on. Let's see, data products.
I might just pull this up full, just because I think it looks weird with us hanging off screen. I'll do that. So.
Oh, there you go. Yeah. So what we're talking about here. Let's see.
Let me just do this, and that. There we go. That might be better.
Yeah, so what we're talking about here, well, first of all, why it's windy, right, is because we've got this huge low over here.
Yep.
And remember, that's going counterclockwise. So the wind is still coming in like this. Now, this low was just kind of over here this weekend, which is why it was windier. But it is interesting that this doesn't even get a lemon from the Hurricane Center. I guess it's because we were talking about this in the news, Laurel and I, last week, that it's attached to a front, so it's
Just
not
extra tropical, yeah. Yep.
I was reminded, somebody asked, and it was a good question. I think it was Jim who asked.
Okay.
Why does low over the water not become tropical? Well, it's because when it's attached to fronts, it's not a tropical entity by definition.
And you
But this could resemble that. I mean, your home area, TJ. I mean, they're talking about.
Oh my gosh!
South
yeah.
Jersey. Well, no, they're actually. I was looking at the Weather Service forecast. They're talking about 50 to 60 mile-an-hour gusts tomorrow coming into coastal Virginia and North Carolina and Delaware here as this goes in like that. I mean, it's an interesting little low, but it's impacting us because that's bringing down the
nice comfy air.
The dry air is coming down from central PA all the way into here.
Yep. I was talking to my parents about it. Yeah, because they were watching their local meteorologists in Ocean City, Maryland. And, and I was telling them, yeah, that's the deal. So.
Well, there's the dew points. Yeah.
57 degrees.
But there still is a huge spread, though.
Huge spread.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, like Cocoa Beach is still midsummer.
It is.
And then Ocala.
It's wintertime. It's wintertime in Gaines.
It's close, late fall. Yeah. Do you have? Let's see. Let's put the Florida dew point up quick. I think this will be very telling. Let's see, dew point.
I think I might have. Is that the one? I think I have it in my show. I think if you. But yeah. It's
see, because down in South Florida, there's going to be a ton of rain still this week.
That front's starting to wobble back because of that low.
Key West.
Yeah.
It's July dew point, and then in Tallahassee, it's maybe like Christmas week humidity. This is an interesting story. Yeah, just across Florida, like West Palm, Miami, it still feels like it's August.
Yeah.
And then north of Ocala, it's like post-Thanksgiving air mass today.
Even
so huge spread across the state.
Even Saturday morning, we had that comfier air for our Fox 51 locale. It was, I think, like 62 or 3, and in Gainesville, I'm sure suburbs were even cooler. But even this around 70 in perspective felt better for us. I mean, I had the windows down, like you said. I was like, wow, it feels great outside. I actually uttered the words to Eric. I said, "This feels cool. Why do I feel chilly right now?" And it was 73 degrees. On Friday evening. I'm like, what's happening? Or Saturday evening. Excuse me. I'm like, what is happening? So, enjoy it while we have it, because it looks like we'll have a return to the more tropical feeling air as this front starts to wobble back to the north later on this week, and turn on rain chances start to come back up too. So
Pull up something for
if you pick this week for vacation, it's certainly certainly a great week to be here. That is for sure.
So this is the rain over the next. Come on now. Somebody else somewhere is in our links.
Oh no, so
Yeah, here's the rain over the next week forecast from the Weather Center.
okay. Yeah, look at that.
Yeah, like what are these totals done by West Palm?
Yeah,
5
that's
inches.
a lot of rain.
A quarter.
But compared to the south.
Nothing. Well, it's interesting because you've got this
Alabama.
divide of south of this front, it's still going to be summer for this week.
Mm-hmm.
And then south of this line, it's a fall taste. And then north of that line, it's firmly winter.
Yeah.
So you kind of got 3 different air masses across Florida this week now.
Yeah.
Still big rain down here.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
You know, the water in the atmosphere as a whole really goes up. So I'm sure that flooding potential is going to be a lot greater across the southern half of the state versus, those of you in Jacksonville, the Panhandle up into Georgia, and
Yeah, there's still that flood outlook for Wednesday
yeah,
down here.
that makes sense. Yeah, still feeling like firmly summer for southern.
Well, here's the rain over the past week, and you can clearly see it's been more on the beaches.
Yeah.
And the past month, it's like we were talking about before, TJ, right? This is the rain of the past month. It's
Isn't that wild?
2.5 times the normal there. It's still above average and green everywhere, but
It's been wet. It's been really, really wet. That was what I was covering
But not
last
for
week.
everywhere.
Not for everywhere. No,
you
the
see,
place
you
that
open
look
to
at
the
the
Panhandle, it's been fall preview. I mean, it's been really dry. But Orlando, West Palm, Fort Myers, it's all been way wetter than normal.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that was our. I feel like that's all we were talking about last week was the flooding across portions of Volusia County and Flagler County, and how bad things got with just how much rain fell down in such a short amount of time, how much moisture was in the atmosphere. Well, it's 3:29, so we have about 45 seconds or so before we'll hop off for the day. But I thought that was good. We talked a lot about the tropics, the wind.
Good news, the tropics. I mean, I guess other than Bermuda, it's probably not a threat. Not a threat to anybody in a significant way.
Thankfully, yeah, which is wonderful. Knock on wood. We're knocking on everything we can because I think you posted about that. It's to have a storm, well,
if it
not have a storm around September 10th. It doesn't.
Yeah.
We were ranked, right?
That's right. Thank you, everybody, for watching. We appreciate watching today. We will send you coming up to Fox Weather on Fox Local. We'll see you later on YouTube and Facebook.
Have a great rest of your day.
Nation that the National Hurricane Center gave that same tropical wave. We've been telling you about it on Fox Weather for days and days now. A very high probability, very likely this becomes our next named storm in Gabrielle as conditions get a bit more favorable for development over the next couple days.